Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Debs.
You okay?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. I'm going to say welcome everyone to the Lisa and Debs TV show.
And how's sunny Cornwall?
It's a bit grey.
Oh, yeah. Well, Wolverhampton, it's peeing down.
It was here this morning. We've had a beautiful week. So our guests have been really lucky. They've been out every day and they were on the beach yesterday and then caught the sun. Today,
Really?
Yeah. This isn't fake tan, you know.
This is.
Yeah, no, it's been real nice. So, yeah, it's just rubbish today. But we're having a changeover, so they've gone home.
Oh, cool.
So,
well, I know you want to talk about a few things today. You want to talk about your update on LinkedIn. I haven't got one, so you can do that. And then we're going to read a card and do a crystal. I know. I've been researching other things and also being mum to a daughter who's in constant crisis. These crises.
You're incontinent then?
Yeah, who's incontinent? No, she's not. I don't think so. Not anyway. Not this week. Yeah, that might be next week's crisis. This week it's been a full meltdown in the shops, calling me from the middle of town yesterday, crying. I can't find anything to wear for this party on Saturday. I need your help. I can't do it on my own. Really? Is that a crisis? Is it? So, well,
is it one of the first times she's been out proper since she's had the baby?
God, no. She's up there all the time. I think she went out with a friend and then the friend decided that she got bored and went off to the park, and then April was just left on her own. So it was Mum, please, I need you.
Whereas if you were in a corporate job, you just wouldn't have been available for that.
I said that to her yesterday. What are you going to do when I go back to work? You're going to be lost.
Know what she'll do? She'll cope.
Yes, of course she will. Like this morning's was a fake tan crisis because she bought a skirt yesterday and her legs are white. She refuses to wear tights, which was my first thing. Put a pair of tights on.
You can get really natural looking tights.
Yeah, but she's got open toe sandals. So then I said, see, that we're rational and logical. So I said, well, you can get sofas. No, you can't. You can get tights where the
seamless
on. Yeah, no, they've got no toes in them. So they're a tight all the way up, but they've got no toes in them. They get them from Boots, right? So that's to wear with open-toed sandals.
But then you have to fake tan your toes.
Well, that's the funny part. She said, but I'll have white toes. And I said, well, put some fake tan on your feet then, and then you won't see the difference. And that was too much hassle. So then I had to go around there this morning at 8 o'clock with some emergency fake tan. Yeah. I don't know. Kids. My 7-year-old is much easier. So where are we starting? Do you want me to do my card? Have you got a crystal?
Well, I haven't got a crystal because I forgot until I turned on, and then my bowl of crystals is 3 floors down.
Okay.
In my bedroom. So I thought, what I did was I'm in coral today because I felt like a coral, and I thought, I'm really drawn to coral. I love the colour. I'll look up the meaning of coral.
Okay, cool.
In a crystal healing, coral is known as the stone of peace and transformation.
Oh,
quite good. When you work with ocean energies, you will receive protection from negativity and evil influences. It will help you dispel any ugliness or weakness that you may feel so that your inner self will transform anew. It will support you in a period of change and transformation.
Wow.
Show you how you should value the past but not hesitate to embrace the future. So I think making sure it's sustainably sourced coral or just wearing the colour, I think, is enough that connects me with the ocean and all the healing energies anyway.
I need to go and find myself some coral then.
Yeah, you can. I can send you a bit if you like. I've got, when we went to
I meant a top.
Oh, yes, get coral top. When we went to Fuerteventura the year before last, there was a beach there covered in little bits of coral. White coral was just, obviously there was a breaker out there and a bit of a coral reef, and it was naturally being broken off and washed onto the shore. So I'm like a little magpie out there going, I'll have that.
I'm the same. I like shells.
Yeah, but also that's responsibly sourced. It's not someone going around hacking bits off.
No.
So
Of course not.
that's, yes, coral. Get some coral in your life. Peace, transformation, and dispelling negative energies.
I will. I'm going to read a card now. I picked this one just before we started talking and it is, this is your life's purpose.
Oh.
I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And the description is, Archangel Michael has heard your prayers and he's guiding you to the direction in which you were born to go. You're already having ideas about career that would bring you joy, excitement, opportunities to help, financial security, and these thoughts are indicators of your divine purpose. You're meant to be engaged in work that brings you and others happiness. This card is a validation that the career you're dreaming of is your life's purpose. As such, the universe will support you to open doors. Move forward confidently.
Cool. That's very apt, isn't it?
Well, I hope so.
You should read that every hour on the hour.
I will, yeah. I'm going to stick it to my jumper. Well, no, I'm going to find some coral and stick it to that jumper.
Yeah, that sounds really good.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So how have you got on with LinkedIn?
Well, I did go and take down my Christmas profile banner at last. It's only April. So I put up one of my regular LSP banners and had a little bit of an explore because, as I said, I don't find it very intuitively user-friendly. So I'm really, it shouldn't be this hard, should it? I'm literally studying the page going, what button can I press? I want to press a button.
Yeah. And there aren't any buttons.
No. So I'm looking and there's, these notifications and that somebody's, somebody's posted this and somebody else has liked that. And I did see there was something at the top about SlideShare and groups. So I looked at SlideShare, and that's basically almost as you would imagine a PowerPoint presentation. You can put one together with photos or infographics and share that as a way of communicating whatever you want to everybody else. So I thought, oh, that's quite cool. And then it was like, and you need to do a training course for this, and you need to do it in this format. I couldn't just upload photos. We don't support this format. What piece of software doesn't support a JPEG and a GIF?
That's all it is.
You need to make at least a PDF of this. I'm like, okay, this is now going to take me longer. And then when I thought, I'll have a look at some other people's examples before I start. And then they were okay, it was just a bunch of photos and a slideshow, not like a great video that you'd see with graphics and things like that. And then I looked at the comments below and no one was commenting on the actual content. They were just doing spammy adverts for their own stupid, probably like sex ads and, stuff.
Oh, lovely. How tasteful.
Exactly. So I thought, well, that's probably not really what I'd use it for, and I'd be mortified if I put a lot of time and effort into creating someone and then all people do is they're not really interested in that. They're just using that as a platform to broadcast spam on. So I had a look at groups, and it doesn't allow you to search, not from that I could see. It was, we're going to suggest these for you, or these are the top ones. And so you could only go down and keep going down. You couldn't do a category. So I found one on jewellery and retail, so that's appropriate to me, so I clicked that. I found another one on personal development, so I clicked that, and you can join them and then wait to be approved. And that was 2 days ago.
No improved.
Sorry?
You've not been approved yet?
On 1 out of 5. Only one person's bothered, one admin's doing what they should be doing.
I think you need to write to LinkedIn and go in as a consultant and show them how not user-friendly they are.
I don't think I'm their demographic. They want boring people.
Thank you.
That's why it doesn't suit you anymore.
No, thank you. Well, you've got yourself out of that hole.
Yeah, I don't think they don't want to hear from me.
I think it has a certain place in the market, and I think that any more than that, it's got to advance a lot for it to become more intuitive and more user friendly. I think it's all right for just posting certain things, and it's great for recruiters. But you know, as for what we need it for, it's not as intelligent as Facebook.
No, it isn't.
So therefore, you know, it's very cumbersome, I find.
It's not as pretty.
No.
And it doesn't have buttons that say press here and I'm going to do everything else for you and take you where you need to want to go. I know Facebook's algorithms and adverts are a pain, but it's way more responsive and relevant to me.
Yeah, I agree.
So I've done several things, and then I thought, oh, you can create your own group. So we could have a look at that. Although that we come back again, we're back in the loop of is our demographic on there?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
So how did you get on or not on LinkedIn?
I didn't do anything on LinkedIn. I think I've been a bit sort of anti-LinkedIn the last couple of days, so I've been avoiding it.
Is that my influence on you? Sorry
No,
about
not at all. No, honestly, it isn't. It's just that I've had nothing positive come from it for quite some time. And I'm sick of looking at it. I'm sick of responding to things. And all I ever get at the moment are people asking me for something. And that's okay. And I will help people if I can. But, you know, there's got to be a two-way street here. This can't always be me connecting people to other people or giving advice or whatever. So, yeah, so I think I've been anti. But I have been doing a lot of research into dating sites.
Cool.
I found one called Zoosk, which I think is relatively new.
Is that I know? Is that like? Do you remember Sarah Beanie did a property app or property thing called Zoopla?
Oh yes, I don't think it's anything to do with that. But do you remember she had a dating site?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, but that one I used that about 5-6 years ago, and it was where a friend writes your profile for you.
Okay.
And they say how you are, and then so you've got
to tell the truth.
Yeah, exactly, probably. Or actually, most people are kinder than you are about yourself most of the time, aren't they?
Yes.
So that was quite good. No, I don't think it's anything to do with her.
Okay.
But it's been an eye opener. I don't think I'm going to last very long on there. It's very overwhelming, because I don't know how many genuine women there are on there, because it's been like a frenzy, almost like you dropped a bit of meat in the ocean and all the sharks have come.
Are you on Plenty of Fish?
I'm not on Plenty of Fish. No, I'm not. I mean, I'm avoiding Plenty of Fish because everybody tells me that's like a knocking shop, and I don't really want to be part of a knocking shop.
You don't want to go on there and make one.
No, I don't.
Penny was on there, and he used to go to me, look at the state of that, and it would be. No. Well, this is the thing. You know who I am, and I've already ended up coaching men on how to rewrite their profiles, and I've only been on there 24 hours, which is quite funny. There was one guy on there, one particular guy, very good looking, very well, like big shoulders, you know, looked after himself. But what put me off straight away, he'd been viewing my profile, and then it gives you the people who've been looking at you. And his name was Dopey Dave. Very attractive.
No, as soon as you read Dopey Dave, that puts you off. You're like, and so I just swiped past him because this is a swipe thing as well. And there's things like One Last Chance. One guy was called I Give Up. Well, what are you doing here then?
Oh my goodness, he's trying
to drink.
He's trying to attract the fix-it women, the women that go, oh, I'll make it better for you, and then try and turn themselves inside out.
Oh, Lord, no.
You know, he wants a fixer-upper.
He's a fixer-upper. So there's things like that, and I like to drink and...
Party time,
lovable rogue. There are no rogues that are lovable, let me tell you, Mr. Lovable Rogue. People don't like rogues. And there's
some women do, and that's their downfall, though, don't they? They like the rogue because they think they can change them. It's like, oh, I'll be the one that changes.
They like a bad boy, and they like to fix them. Well, yeah, leopards don't change the spots. The other thing was Dopey Dave then sent me a message, bless him, and he said, well, obviously you're too intellectual for me, but I just wanted you to know that I think you're really pretty and you've got beautiful eyes. And I couldn't resist it. I went back and said, first of all, you need to change your name, because why are you calling yourself Dopey Dave? Because he said something like, I've been on here for about 6 months and I've only had a few chats and no dates. And I thought, that's because you're calling yourself Dopey Dave and you're introducing yourself to women saying, I'm really stupid and I'm not good enough for you. Ta-da! So I told him to change his name, and I said to him, don't lead with, you're obviously better than I am, because that will not get you the right kind of woman.
That's a classic disarming technique, though. That's so that you don't see him as a threat.
Oh, I didn't see him as a threat, bless him. And he said to me at the end of it, you should be a life coach. I thought, I am a life coach.
Okay, so date coaching, here we come then.
Oh, look. Oh, you wouldn't believe the pictures that people put on there. I mean, there are a few that obviously know how to take a picture and to sell themselves, because that's what you're doing. You're just selling yourself.
They're the vain ones that spend longer in the bathroom than we do. They're the ones that's to be avoided.
I'm not waiting for anybody to go out, you know. I'm not waiting an hour for people to go out and do shopping. But there are just some funny ones with their heads cut off, which makes me ask, why have you cut your head off?
That's a classic. This is me and the wife in Marbella. Oh, I'll just cut her out of the picture.
I've actually seen one on there with a guy at his own wedding. It was just like, really? Oh
my God, at his own wedding?
Well, he was next to the bride and they were pretty close. So, like, why don't you just, use another photograph? That's going to put people off. And then just people lying back on the bed looking really miserable and trying to look sexy and things like that. Or
yeah, that's
my favourite, Spanish eyes. What makes eyes Spanish?
What, they describing themselves as Spanish eyes?
That was his nickname. His name, yeah, Spanish eyes. And then, so the first picture wasn't too bad. But the second picture was a full, like, from the crotch upwards.
Much information, really.
Lots of a chest wig, a big chest wig, but everywhere, arms everywhere. And I just thought, don't you look at your pictures before? Don't you edit them or something, rather than just get everything out? And
they might think that's their best asset.
Hair. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, so that's been fun. I mean, there's just like the guy that if I just tell you that I've had close to 100 messages in 24 hours.
Well done.
No, not really, because I have to sift through them, and some of them are terrible. Like, for example,
why don't you set up a PayPal? If you want me to read your message, you've got to be right on my time.
One guy said, "Hi, gorgeous. You're fit. How's about it?"
Man, a few words. No thanks.
How's about what? How's about what? What is he asking me for? How's about it? No, thank you.
Oh, it would be a good ebook. What women want on dating websites, like how to approach a woman.
Exactly. Well, I said to one guy this morning, does your approach work? And he said, you would be surprised how many sex mad women there are on this site. I went, well, I'm not one of them.
Maybe you need a different site. It's a while since I was on a dating website, as in years. What I found weird, what was de rigueur at that time, was always younger guys. So like early 20s, bearing in mind I was in my 40s then, early 40s. And I'm like, listen, sunshine, you're nearer my son's age than me. And he goes, I don't mind. Well, I do.
I don't mind. He's doing you a favour. Really?
Yeah, okay. Just want to hook up. No, Mo, you know, so that was what I seemed to get more of, just the younger, like really young, early
I've
20s.
had a couple of younger ones, but and when I said to one guy, so you like older women then? And he said, it's just a number, love.
So what number are you? Number 150 on the bedpost?
No chance of that happening. I just think it's funny. I think it's quite amusing. I haven't really met one that I thought, or talked to one that I thought, oh, I might like to talk to you on the phone. And that is what they lead with, a lot of them. Can I have your phone number? No, you can't.
Because then they can text you things you don't want to see. They don't want to talk to you.
Oh God, no! Please don't even.
Oh yes.
Put that on me. No.
So
it's bad enough.
I don't know.
Chest hair.
I used to have. There's a formula for each woman, I think, and if you know, so I had a kind of formula where they had to email, and we'd have a conversation for X amount of time. So you get a sense of at least whether they can read and write.
That's always a good point.
How well they can spell, or if they can be bothered to use a spell checker. And then, you know, you think, oh, this person can actually string a sentence together. So, yeah, let's have a bit more of a conversation. And then after so many of that, I would allow them to have my phone number. And then, you know, you've got to speak to them on the phone. And that's a real eye-opener, because they sound different to how you imagine them. So it's a bit like you read the book and then you go and watch the film, and it's never as good as the book was. What your imagination is, my imagination is way better than anybody else has managed to live up to. So then you speak to them on the phone and they sound different, and that can instantly put you off. I don't know about you, but for me,
in a second.
Yeah. And then, so there was one guy where we probably emailed, and we're getting on, and every point was cool, and you know, all sorts of commonalities. So I thought, yeah, okay, I'll let you phone me. And so we had this phone conversation that took place over an hour. And it was the bizarrest phone call of my life. It started off reasonably well. And he didn't live that far away. So I lived in Cornwall, he lived in Devon, so not too far away. And he was a cameraman.
Okay.
For a larger corporation. And we started off chatting, and what he was doing that I couldn't see, it's not as bad as it sounds.
My God.
he was having a drink.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah. And he had progressively more. And it was, I think it was Jack Daniels.
Oh,
and
Lord.
then as the hour went on, he got more and more drunk, which meant the real him came out. Oh my God. And it at one point I was just staring at the phone like, this is hideous. I heard everything from how bitter he was about his ex-wife, all the things that she did wrong, all the money that she took, and I was like, I couldn't get a word in sideways to say, you're fired, and put the phone down. I literally couldn't.
You should have just put the phone down.
This rant. So after an hour, I just like put the phone down and blocked him.
That's what you've got to do. But actually, it sounds like that was the best thing to do. So maybe my approach will be, let's have a chat over the phone. Make sure you're half pissed, because then the reality will come out. Because
why go to all the bother of meeting them in person and getting dressed up where you can find out how they are?
Exactly. I think that's the new thing. Let's talk to them by Zoom with a glass of wine or something.
Yes. I used to call them interviews anyway. They're never first dates. They were interviews.
Yeah.
I've got questions and you've got to answer them.
Yeah, exactly. And if you don't give me the right answer, you're not getting the job.
That you're fired, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been interesting. It's been an interesting couple of days, but I am getting a bit sick of it now. I'm bored with it, and there's been no one that I even want to have a telephone conversation with, never mind actually going to the trouble of going out and meeting them.
What's your parameters? Are you looking? I tried several. On different times. So at one point, it was nobody within my vicinity, and I would only consider somebody not even in Cornwall. I was like, not in the whole of Cornwall. I don't want somebody close to me being able to knock on my door, type thing.
Yeah.
And then after the a couple of contacts with distinctly younger, you could change the age range, so they were always my age or older, never anyone younger than me, because I was just finding that bit more immature. And so what's your parameters, just in case anybody's watching?
Oh, I doubt it. But I think I don't want to go out with anybody sort of younger than, say, 48, because the maturity level, it doesn't match.
You've got to have the same, I reckon, the same songs in common, so that when you hit the dance floor, you're in the same group.
Too right, yeah.
If you're in another generation.
It's funny, you just reminded me. You know that I used to be a singer, and so I want to put together a quartet. I was going to say string quartet. A double bass, a drummer, and a keyboardist, so that we can do swing music like. Like Fly Me to the Moon, a bit of Frank Sinatra, a bit of Ella Fitzgerald, because it goes down a storm at weddings and things like that. So, but I put notices on music boards, and I absolutely got nothing at all, not even a response. But yesterday, the longest I spoke to somebody yesterday was about 10 minutes, and it was because he was a double bass player. Oh. Right, but this is what's happened. I'm just taking this stupid thing off my screen. This is what happened. So I started talking to him. I was thinking, yes! I don't fancy you, but you can play in my band.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about it, and then I realised where he was from, which was Kent. And then within about 2 minutes of me saying, "Oh, like too far," he said, "I can move."
Like not just for a gig. Like
no, I wanted to move up here permanently.
What's he trying to escape from then?
And then he said, I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but I think I'm falling for you. Police!
Police, I'd be like, ambulance, straight jacket.
Security.
For me.
Yeah, what is that about? So, and then at the end I said, look, just hold on, soldier, just chill out. And then he said, well, if you're not going to give me any commitment, then I am going to stop talking to you. And I went, see you then.
That is bizarre.
That's not well. That's not well. You need some Prozac or something, some sort of therapy, really. But nice, nice. I was happy that I'd found a double bass player, but not in Kent. But nice that he wanted to move up here and he was packing.
Thank God he was in Kent, or you might not. You might have met
at the door, wouldn't he? He'd have been at the front door going, "I'm here with my double bass. Let's crack on. Let's get married." Oh, I have had one marriage proposal
already.
Yes, I have. I'm sure the bloke was joking, but it said, "Hello, gorgeous. You're everything I want. Shall we get married?" No.
You should have said yes and see how quickly he came back to you, just for a laugh.
Hilarious. Well, it's the sort of thing I would say. I'd probably say yes. Let's do it now. Crack on. But so it's an eye opener. It really is an eye opener. But
are you going to chronicle this? Because I think it'd be fascinating reading it. But you could turn it into a great a romantic comedy.
Oh, absolutely. I think I will start writing it, because you couldn't write this stuff.
No.
I've never, honestly, some of the stories. That's a really good idea. I will start doing that. There are a couple of decent guys in there, but they're not floating my boat, if you know what I mean. I need someone who's intellectual, so they've got a brain. I mean, not that they need to be like a doctor or whatever. It's just that they need to be able to string a sentence together, and that doesn't involve moving up here after 10 minutes. And they need to be able to have a laugh, have some sort of fun. So I need someone who wants to go for a meal, but that is also equally as comfortable with going ziplining or doing something fun, So that's what my profile says. I keep getting comments about my profile, so I've obviously done it in the right way. It's very positive, it's very truthful, it's very open. It's like, if you want a one night stand, keep swiping. I did say that.
Yeah, some people see that. I don't think you should mention that in a profile, because some people see that as a challenge.
Do they? Well, they can challenge off, because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. Not interested.
That's the trouble. I think it's dishonesty on profiles. There was one guy, and I liked it. I was on Match.com. You can set the heights. So I'm 6 foot minimum. Nobody under 6 foot does nothing for me. I've been with them, and it's small man syndrome.
Napoleon complex.
Doesn't work. So he's like 6 foot and up, and their own hair.
Can you set that? Must have hair.
So I'm in St Ives for this date, looking for this bloke, and where we said we'd meet at a time, thinking, can't see anyone coming like that, wherever we met at the harbour front on the bar. And then this person, it's like when you open the front door and you think there's no one there, and you look down and there's someone there.
Oh, no. So they lied about their height.
This person said, "Oh, hi, it's me." I'm like, "No, because you're not 6 foot." "Well, I used to be."
What? Did they have the legs cut off?
And he had no hair.
That's just wrong.
And I was like, that photo's fucking 30 years old, mate.
Well,
Goodbye.
This is the good thing about Zoosk, and I've not seen it on a site before. You have to verify your photographs. I think that's really good.
Yeah.
So I put 3 photos on, and it made me verify them. You can do it without verifying them, but then I'd be more suspicious if someone's photos weren't verified. And what you do is you look straight on into a camera, and it videos you, and then it tells you to move to the left and move to the right, so it can actually profile your face.
Like face recognition.
That's brilliant.
Wow.
That is really good, isn't it? So like at least people know that my photos are genuine, and I know when people's photos are verified, because I've been on dates in the past, I haven't been on any dates this time, but in the past where you turn up and that person literally is 20 years older than their photo. Yeah. Or they're not the same person at all. They've used somebody else's photo.
Yeah. And I've had that as well. Like, oh, well, I didn't think anyone would want to date me with my photo. So they change their mind when they meet you in person because you're a pathological liar.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Or you're probably a serial killer. And that's
can you filter out non-verified ones?
No, and that's the issue. It's not. It isn't very intelligent. And
it would be handy to do that, wouldn't it? Because I'd never entertain if they didn't have a profile photo. Never entertain them.
It just shows that people don't. There's a few people that have actually read my profile, because they'll write something and say something like, "Oh, I see that you do this," or "I see you're from there," or "I see you like this," or
so
"I see you have 2 children." So they've read it, but most don't, because the first thing they open with is, "What do you do?" "Well, it says that on my profile." Or "What is your name?" "Well, it says that on my profile," or something like that. So you said they haven't read it, and really then they're just going on your looks.
And it shows they actually can't be bothered and they're lazy, so you wouldn't take it that any further.
And the thing that I put on there is I'm very spiritual, so that's really important to me, and everyone that I look at is an atheist, so they obviously haven't read it, have they? Because that would make a difference to me. That would make a huge difference to me, because I don't want to be convincing somebody that there's a universe and that there's.
Well, I would say if I were listing myself, I've listed myself as atheist. Rod definitely would list himself as atheist, but I'm very spiritual.
But you're agnostic. It's a different.
No, I don't. No,
atheists don't believe in anything at all. That's what I think. And agnostic people believe that there's something out there, but it's not a god.
Okay, I haven't even studied it that much, because it's not. I don't like. I'm just like, yeah, no.
Yeah, so, that's right.
All I'm saying,
you're an agnostic.
Just because someone's say an atheist, because I would say an atheist means I don't recognise and subscribe to and dictated to and bound by, say, the Christian and Catholic version of a religion with a god as an idol. You know, that's what an atheist goes, no. I don't think it means they're not open to other things. So you might want to not be quite so strict on that filter, because Rod completely isn't, when I met him, spiritual in any sense, but absolutely supports me in anything that I do. So you might want to ease up on that one.
Yeah, maybe.
If everything else is all right.
Or just verify it. Because the problem, the reason I've got an aversion to it is because the person that will not be named,
Voldemort.
Voldemort, Beelzebub, he pretended to be spiritual, but actually wasn't. And
but then they could change that on their profile to tie in with yours. I've seen that before. Like, I've got a good memory, and I've seen I've seen them, you know, like they wink at you, and then they've obviously read something, and then they change theirs.
Yeah, right, okay.
And that's another classic. So always screenshot someone the minute that you think you like them, if they like do that wink or they wave or whatever the thing is.
Be asked with that.
Well, yeah, but then
I know, yeah, you're right. I have got some fantastic news.
That's due diligence, my dear.
Yes, you're right. It's just that, like, with 200 messages, it might take a while.
No, but only the ones that you instantly think, actually visually and quick scan, and you tick the box, take a quick thing.
I don't know, though. This is the thing. I went through it with April this morning. I went round hers, obviously, to do the fake tan crisis. And I said, look, what do you think of this guy? Because she'll just go, oh my God, mother, what on earth are you thinking? Swipe, swipe, swipe. And which is funny. And then she goes, he's not good enough, he's not good enough, he's not good enough. And then, but she did find the odd one. And you see, to me, I thought, I don't have a type.
No,
I don't have a type.
I don't.
And so
no, I do.
Difficult.
Narcissist, sociopath, they're my type.
Not anymore. Your type's the millionaire shortbread, fantastic all-round super guy.
Yeah, that was luck. That was luck.
It was luck. And so, like this guy said to me this morning, you're going to have to kiss a lot of frogs to find your prince. And I said, firstly, I'm not looking for a prince. And secondly, I won't be kissing any frogs.
Yes, say what you like about yourself, love, but I won't kissing you.
I want myself a frog, but I'm not kissing you either. But that's funny. So I have some brilliant news. Dopey Dave took Dopey off, so he listened to me.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was good, wasn't it? So he will be, I'm sure he'll be attracting a different kind of woman now, and maybe he'll get a date. I'll have to watch to see if he goes off.
Yeah. Well, I think my brain's just whirring there. Maybe there's an opening there for coaching people on there.
100% there is.
Profiles.
100%. I've already told a couple of blokes, don't start with that because you're going to put people off straight away. I can't help myself.
The only thing against that is, of course, if
they're showing their true colours.
Yeah, if you coach them to what people want to hear, or put it in a way that it reads that they're more intelligent than they are, that's kind of false advertising. Yeah,
but you see, Dave, for an example, bless him. Dave, I have to show you a picture. I can't do it on here because I don't want to embarrass Dave. But
it wasn't the David Essex and Noel Edmonds hybrid love child, was it, from the other day?
Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen, you mean? It wasn't Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen. No, I mean that was funny. Cravat. Yesterday I saw one in a completely white suit. Yeah, and white cowboy boots, and he was very portly.
Very like Miami Vice 1980s. Boss Hogg out of Dukes of Hazzard.
I can't even tell you. I'd have to show you a picture. But Dave, a very good-looking guy. And then once I'd said to him, look, you need to change your name and you need to stop this approach with women because that's going to attract certain types of women. And he said, well, that's so kind of you. And then he went on and told me about himself. And he wasn't unintelligent. He just had to work hard all of his life and he worked himself up to managing director from starting as a brickie. So he wasn't unintelligent at all, but maybe not academic. But that's not intelligence.
Maybe not particularly good with words. Not everybody is.
He was all right with words as well. He managed to express himself and all the rest of it. So I said the first thing you've got to say is stop telling people that you're not intelligent, because you are. Maybe not, you're not academic. Maybe you haven't got loads of qualifications, but...
Maybe that's some old story where someone's been, you're so thick, you're so, you know...
And also that when you said he was disarming, it could have been that, but he'd been married for 25 years. So he's been married since he was 25, and he's been split up a year now. I think his confidence has been knocked because she left him.
And that's definitely a something that needs help. People need help with, is when they come out back onto the market, literally, and they haven't been since the 1980s. What worked then doesn't work now.
Absolutely not.
And they're just defaulting back to what they knew at the time.
Yeah.
So it could be the modern dating guide for the not so modern man.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a niche out there, because these guys need help, and I'm sure that if they got in front of the right women with the right approach.
But the women need help. What my friend showed me of the choice available to him, they were not, I would say, probably the most appropriately dressed, or certainly in, you know, when you're giving it all away up front, there's nothing left to the imagination. I don't think that's particularly attractive for the right type of man. They want a little bit more sophistication. I think women also need some help.
Yeah.
Especially if they've had their confidence knocked, or they've been told the classics: you're too old, you're too fat, you're too ugly, no one will want you with kids, all them ones. You know, they probably like, wow, they just don't know how to.
Or they're trying too hard because of those feelings.
And some of them definitely are stuck back in the 80s. I've seen the hair and then the blue eyeshadow and everything.
Lovely. ABBA.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we could do the modern dating guide for the not so modern man and the not so modern woman.
I think that's a really good idea, because there's a lot of people that need help. A lot of people.
Cool.
And what is it with every bloke's got a motorbike? As soon as I see a motorbike, I think midlife crisis.
It is, because they weren't allowed one when they were younger because they lived at home and mummy and daddy said no. Then they weren't allowed one because they had kids and the wife said no. So suddenly they've got they don't live at their parents' house. Well, some of them do. Have you had the one yet where he's basically in his teenage bedroom and a profile photo?
No, I can't be doing with that.
Tottenham Hotspur poster in the cross country medal on the headboard. So yeah, they should ideally not living back at home, and left the wife and haven't got the kids are grown up. So now they finally get the motorbike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
push bikes, and they bike everywhere. It's like we said the other day, they're all on push bikes or motorbikes.
Well, for me, I prefer the motorbike. The push bike variety have them awful shorts with that thing in.
What is that about?
Don't want that in the house. You can keep that out.
Keep your lycra away from me, lovely.
Yeah, but the chamois thing in the middle.
Don't want to know.
No.
Don't want to know.
And the socks and the trainers and
and people, and I really need to give dress advice to some of these guys who are sitting there with shorts on, like really short shorts.
Not a Joey out of Friends.
Shouldn't be wearing, but much worse, because Joey's good looking. These people.
No. There was the Friends episode where Joey with the shorts.
With the guy with the shorts. Yeah, you can't quite see anything, but they're.
Oh yeah, it wasn't Joey, was it? It was.
No, it was his mate, wasn't it? Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
But this guy had socks on, pulled up, so not folded over, pulled up, and Jesus sandals on.
Boy Scouts.
Good luck.
Did he ever woggle? And then dip.
I didn't look at his woggle.
How old was that photo? Was it when he was 12?
No, he was an old man in short shorts with Jesus sandals and socks on. It's just not right. I mean, it really isn't. People do need help. I think we need to start a new business.
Okay.
Or write a new book.
Could we do photos and just chop the heads off and then go to this is today's disaster?
Oh, I feel mean now, but so they really need some help. They really.
Well, as you've said before, it's the quality of the bait. that catches the quality of the fish, isn't it? So
that's it.
they,
That's it. But
I
if they think like that about themselves, I had one guy.
There's a huge divide, generally, and this is a generality, between the amount of effort that men think they need to make and the amount of effort that women do. When we owned the cocktail bar, men and women would come in, like women out with their friends, men out with their friends. Men looked like they just washed the car, had some lunch, and come out. The women have spent 8 hours doing themselves up, everything, and the two of them, like the two groups, are in there chatting each other up, and you're like, the women have made so much effort, and the men have made none. What is that about? Why don't men think they need to make that much of an effort?
Yeah, but there's a fine line between that and those men like the Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen bloke who probably spend more time getting ready than the woman does, and are also having a midlife crisis and wearing cravats and all sorts of weird and wonderful stripy flowered jackets. There must be somewhere in the middle where a guy can look after himself and either not be a scruffy get or not be,
Yeah. I mean, you just want haircut,
nails,
clean face, clean nails,
teeth,
no nose and ear hair, really.
No.
Ideally.
Bit of moisturiser, maybe. I'm not against metrosexual guys.
Yeah, but moisturiser, something nice, smelly,
Yeah.
Clean shoes.
Decent clothes. Oh God, yeah, clean shoes, and don't wear Jesus sandals or socks with them.
I'm a big shoes person. You can tell a lot about someone by their shoes.
And my opening line isn't about shoes. My opening line is, what do you do for a living? Because I believe you can tell an awful lot about the person from that to start off a conversation. So, yeah, I've had a few plasterers. Okay.
Very handy, well paid.
Yeah, exactly. I've had beauty distribution director.
Okay.
A project manager like myself, so we would bore the shit out of each other talking about project management. So all sorts of different things if they're telling the truth.
Yes. Well, I don't think you'd make that up, would you, that you were a project manager?
No, you wouldn't, because it's boring.
Cool. So maybe that's we'll give some thought to that over the weekend. Sort of do's and don'ts, and maybe start off a little you do it from your point of view, I'll do it from what I can remember.
I will. And then we can put some pointers out there. We can do a program on how to date. No,
I think we'll do an ebook, and then we'll do a course.
Good idea.
And then they can sign up and watch it every week, and then they go away and do the homework. Send in the revised profiles. Yeah. And then we'll see the improvement rate on the take-up.
It would immediately do that, because they might not attract the same sort of women, but that's kind of the point, isn't it?
I think that's definitely the thing. They don't all want to attract. So our advice would be mostly from our experience and point of view, and they might not want to attract women like us. So it's giving them the information to attract the person that they do want to attract. So to just be mindful of the language, and maybe the personal presentation and things like that somebody like that would be into. And that's like anything, isn't it? If you're going for a job interview, you research the company. So if you want someone that's into cycling, well, you better be into it as well. Otherwise, why would you be going for that?
Yeah, because otherwise you'll be at home while they're out cycling around the Peak District.
Yeah. Yes. Cool.
So we'll do that then.
Cool. And what about LinkedIn? Are you sacking that? Are you going to do something else?
I'll get my mojo back with LinkedIn. I just had a couple of days off where I think I go on. You see, I go on it a lot, and I've just got a bit jaded. So I'm gonna leave it for a couple of days. I'm working tomorrow and Sunday, so that'll be fun. And so I'll have a couple of days off it, and then I'll get back on it again Monday. And I've got an interview on Tuesday anyway, so a telephone interview. It's the first stage. So we'll see how it goes from there.
Cool. All right then. Have a good weekend.
And you. I'll speak to you soon.
All right. Bye everyone.
Bye.